Watch the entire video, my lovely viewers, to get the whole thing. Without wasting much of your time, let's get right into it.
This is DJ Mutati exclusive.
Hi lovely viewers, it's me again, your one and only Mutati Mpundu. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If this is your first time on my channel, kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel by hitting the subscribe button down below. Turn the bell icon to join the notification squad. Don't forget to like, share, and leave a comment. Tell me what you think about this video in the comment section below. I'll be super glad to hear from you lovely viewers.
Let the nation know, when the issue of the Patriotic Front started on the 24th of October 2023, when that illegal convention was held at Mulungushi International Conference, a lot of moves were done. People went to court, and many of us issued condemnation because it was an assault on democracy. There is no way an ordinary member can go and wrestle power from his own political party, which has a constitution. And clearly one could see that the state had a hand in it. First and foremost, the convention was held at a government facility. The convention was highly protected by the state police. The convention was covered by ZNBC. That is where they entangled themselves. Because at that time, there was an investor ceremony at State House, and there was a visiting head of state, a president of Tanzania. But cameras were removed from State House and directed at Mulungushi. And everything else is history. Now, when matters went to court, that's where you could see that this was a grand criminal act, well prepared by the government system. When the matter went to court, these matters of PF were being adjourned sine die, meaning the matter will be adjourned without a returnable date. Date to be advised later. And it started prolonging. And during that period, Mao Sampa started making changes there and there when matters are in court. And the Maos at that time would not even suffer any contempt of court. I decided to write to the Chief Justice. I detailed out the sequence of events and how the judiciary had become a co-adventurer. And the Chief Justice was gracious enough to respond. These are things which are not known to the public. And when he responded, he did make some interventions where he called the judge in charge, and the concerned judge, and the two warring parties, Mao Sampa and the Patriotic Front. And those meetings, if I remember, in attendance, it was Makebi Zulu and the State Council, John Sangwa. And at that point, we thought things would move plainly. But there was a hand which would not want these matters resolved. PF has got only one question which the courts have deliberately refused to answer. One question. Was the Mao Sampa Convention legal as per PF Constitution deposited with the Registrar Society? Was that convention legal? This is a simple question. But for your information, PF matters have never gone to trial. Not even one day. You file in, I think they have done it about 15 times. You file in, the matter is adjourned sine die. You file in your head, the matter is adjourned, the date to be advised later. Because this is a scheme that the largest opposition political party must die. I have come to a conclusion, in my humble way. This country is being run through a triangle of evil called government. A triangle of evil. And that triangle is the executive, is the judiciary, and is the legislature. They have all decided to be co-adventurers in the demise of our constitutional democracy. The destruction of the Patriotic Front is not the destruction of a political party per se. It is the destruction of what we cherish, all of us. Competitive politics, where ideas are on the market, and the one who sells his ideas better takes the day. What we are seeing today is evil. It cannot be said any better. If you look at the way the courts are operating, if there are matters concerning the opposition leaders, Patriotic Front, in the Magistrates Court, they are pushed at a rocket speed so that people are convicted. But when you want to resolve a matter of constitutional imperative, you find resistance. This is a danger we face today. This country is divided and divided deliberately so. We have them and we have others. There are two streams here, them and us. 60 years after independence, we surely can we have this conversation of division on ethnicity grounds? No, not at all. Some of us, we thought this is history because the new generation, the millennia, they know no tribe, because this is the only generation that has got Chanda Muvita, Mulenga Inambao, Piri Mugweza. This generation, Kaunda did his homework, intermarriages, and we have cross-pollinated across the country. So the tribe is dead. And this country, whoever is trying to reinstate a tribe on the basis that, I hear what they say in corridors to say, we suffered a lot, it's our time. We suffered a lot. How did you suffer a lot? Who made you suffer? This country has been a unitary state. Our forefathers fought for this country. Kenneth David Kaunda, Hari Mwanga Nkumbula, Simon Mwansaka Pwepwe, Yunia Jumwira, Mwila, Munugayu Mbwasparo, Mainza Chona, Mungoni Liso. You can name Narumino Mundia. You can go on and on. Samuel Ombirishi, Humphrey Mulemba. Surely today you can talk about a tribe. The tribe is dead. Whoever wants to project a superior kind of ethnicity belongs to the dustbin.
Now,
because you go to northern province, they are Tongas.
That's a critical issue you have just raised, the issue of the current division in the country. Someone yesterday said Hichilema carries no vision but promotes division. That for the first time, the issues of tribalism and regionalism have been rising, especially in politics. And I love the way you've contrasted. To our people, this issue is dead. But in government and people that hold the instruments of power, they make it alive by tribal appointments and by promotion of their own areas. 60 years after independence, this should never have been a debate. It's like we've regressed, and the work
Not
of
at all.
President Kaunda for 27 years seems to have just been trashed. And we are back to these divisions. Instead of talking about the vision of the country, we are talking about the division of the country. This is something you've also spoken about very, very strongly.
Emmanuel, you are an ambassador and you are a diplomat. So is your language. You are diplomatic. I am just an ordinary citizen trying to fight for other people's rights, freedoms, and liberties. It pains me so much that I have stood for Mr. Hakainde Hichilema while I was in opposition. When it was not fashionable, we walked hand in hand. I gave him a shoulder to lean on. I defended him. I visited him in prison. I made him my friend, my colleague in the struggle. But he knew who he was dealing with. That Brebner believes in the truth and the truthfulness. When Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, before he could form government, we had private discussions on how he, and I know he's listening, he was going to beat Mwanawasa's record because of things that we were doing in the background. We wanted him to make the judiciary independent and functional. Let me give you a good example. These are agreed social positions. When the president appoints the board of the Anti-Corruption Commission, ratified by Parliament, the board is supposed to appoint a Director General at SEC. And that Director General will have to be ratified by Parliament, and you will have security of tenure. The president, when he started talking about the fight against corruption, he was first supposed to change the pieces of legislation where the board of the Anti-Corruption Commission is supposed to be reporting to Parliament, not to him. And the moment the board is ratified by Parliament, he will have no power to dissolve that board. If he has challenges with the board, he must initiate a move at Parliament where the board must exculpate itself why it's doing things it's doing. Now, what did he do? When he won the election, with Miti, Simon Miti, the former Secretary to Cabinet, signed Gazette Notice 1123, which moved DEC, SEC, Financial Intelligence Center, the police, and the other law enforcement agencies to the office of the president. I raised an alarm. I said the SEC cannot report to the executive because grand corruption and criminality is domiciled in the executive. There is no way potential thieves and criminals can superintend on a law enforcement agency because they are suspects. They are potential suspects. That was the beginning for me to see that this fight against corruption was nothing but political, because the president didn't want this institution to be independent. This also goes to the state-owned enterprise. Our idea was, let's give an example of ZESCO. Our idea was the Minister of Energy to appoint a board for ZESCO. And that board must be ratified by Parliament. You change a piece of registration. Then the board will appoint the managing director of ZESCO. The board will report to parliament. It stops reporting to the minister. If there are issues with the board, the minister cannot just wake up with an hangover and dissolve that board. No, he must go to parliament and raise issues that the board is not functioning properly so that the board can defend itself. Today, the minister appoints the board for ZESCO. The president appoints the managing director for ZESCO. That is a circus. That is a circus. First, the president appointed the minister. The minister went to appoint a board. Then the president goes and appoints a managing director and expects that managing director to be answerable to the board appointed by the minister. It's common sense. You don't need to be a rocket scientist. So this fight against corruption collapsed the day the president started doing his personal agenda. Because that agenda, I say it here and now, as I have said it before, is an agenda that was not known to many of us. The president had his own agenda. We had the country's agenda, where we wanted the institutions to be independent of the executive. When the president was coming, one of my desire for the president was to operationalize the office of the public protector. Because the PF didn't do it. That office does exist, but it's moribund. It doesn't do anything. Your listeners must care to read the Act of the Public Protector and its functions and its contribution to our governance system. That office, to this very day, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema has refused to operationalize it. And he doesn't want to talk about it. He goes to talk about cyberbullying because they insult him. He's very sensitive to people who say negative things about him. Very, very sensitive. Forgetting that a public figure is a target of innuendos and other pleasantries. You have to have a thick skin. Mind you, you hang on competing and recompeting, competing and recompeting until you won. Nobody forced you to be president. In fact, I can give you a challenge. If for some reason tonight you decided, after facing the face of God, you decided to resign tonight, you will see the celebrations in this country. That's when you will understand how much pain you have caused to the nation. For the time being, you won't see it because you have brought in laws that has silenced everybody. You have refused to allow the opposition for 4 years to hold rallies, to mobilize, to recruit new membership, to market their manifestos and give an alternative government. You have come on them like a ton of bricks where the policemen are in charge. And nobody put a policeman on the ballot. We put you on the ballot. You put yourself on the ballot. We voted for you. But you throw us to the jaws of the police. When we want, the opposition want to campaign, when civil society wants to mobilize, permit. I don't know who said we need a permit. We need to notify your government that we are awake. And we want to challenge you. We are awake and we don't agree with you. We must be frank. We are not going to be speaking while looking for who is going to arrest me. No, Mr. President. Don't turn this country into the biggest jail in a democratic country. No. So when we look at where we are a divided country by design. We are calling for a national indaba, where all men and women of diverse interests can come together and we have a discussion, a conversation. Why are we where we are? Today we have 21 hours load shedding. And this government can't talk about it. They talk about the peripheral. They talk about the dead body of ECL. They divert us. They even go and confuse young children, students at the University of Zambia, to march and support failure. Who does that? You are finding joy in your own shortcomings, and you get young girls, young boys, and you take them to State House to celebrate failure. Who are you cheating?
Yeah.
It's very sad. Thank you, Mr. Mwamba.
Indeed, indeed. Before we open the phone lines, what clearly there's a crisis in the nation, economic, social, political, threats against democracy, threats against the rule of law, and we clearly stand as a country at a precipice of a perilous situation. The people of Zambia are looking up to the opposition. What do you get as a civil society leader who is participating in trying to help restore democracy? What do you get? Because the alternative is the opposition. What are your views about the opposition, and what do you think should be done? Before we open the phone lines, I'd like you to take on that question.
Your line is cracking. Your line is jumping. I can hardly hear you.
Oh, sorry, Honorable Brebna Changala. I was saying the state of the opposition is worrying. On your side, how do you think it is? Because the state of the country is worrisome. Threats against democracy, threats against the rule of law, then political and social crisis, our economy in a meltdown. The people of Zambia, through these sufferings, are looking up to their colleagues in opposition, because they're the only ones they can vote for. You don't stand on a ballot. The church does not stand on a ballot, and that is why we look up to you. We look up to the opposition to then be the alternative, be the shadow cabinet, shadow government. But what do you think is the state of the opposition? And what must they do?
First and foremost, we must admit, democratically, Zambian is going through a very difficult period, in that we are dealing with a government that is intolerant, that is abusive, that has captured everything. And it makes you, in the opposition, fight each other, and it does not create a platform where you can harmonize your ambitions, your manifestos, and your political sentiments. But I want to say this: the government is living in a comfort zone. They repeatedly say there is no opposition, so HH will have a free ride to State House. So be it. So be it. But I want to warn them. The opposition is not a registration at the Registrar of Society. The opposition is the people. Where revolutions are mounted, there are no registered political party. Where resistance comes, it begins first with chaos. It even consumes those who are refusing others to conduct themselves in an orderly manner. My advice to this administration: they will do better if they allowed free cross-pollination of ideas. Let allow people campaign, mobilize very freely. Let them go door to door. Those who want to have open rallies, let them have those rallies. It's their country after all. Now, to subject people to draconian laws and thinking that the best way to manage a country, you will regret. Because this silent majority that you have locked into a cocoon, you don't even know what they are thinking. The people who talk are better than those who are silent. That's my advice. People who talk are better than those that are silent. Look today, the battle for our democratic space is being fought in the diaspora, where your police cannot reach. What is said on air from the diaspora cannot be said at home. You mean, as a president, as a government, are you not ashamed that for the first time in history, you have people in exile? Are you not ashamed? People are running away from this beautiful country because they are scared of prison. Zambia has a justice system, which is an appellant system. If you lose a matter in the magistrate, you go to the High Court. If you lose, you go to the Court of Appeal. If you lose, you go to the final court, the Supreme Court. Today, I don't know who has changed this. I've been around for many, many years. Today, if you lose a matter in the magistrate court, you immediately start serving. Even if you appeal, you cannot be given. And this is a standard. It's not that some are getting it. You won't get bail pending appeal. So your appeal in the High Court is merely academic. Let's assume you succeed in the High Court, but you have already served. You know, these are things Mr. Hakainde Hichilema promised, and it's on camera, that when we come to power, all cases will be bailable. It's Mr. Hakainde. Nobody was forcing him to speak. He made this commitment. And one thing I can say here and now, you know, the trust levels for Mr. Hakainde Hichilema are at their lowest. Because he said too many things in the opposition just to paint his colleague Edgar Chagwalungu black. He really painted him black. Charcoal black. He was given the mantle. Now come and govern and do what you said. Completely opposite. And when you look at what is going on, you will think President Hakainde Hichilema is reading the Riot Act that was written by the Patriotic Front. Except he has improved on it. He has brought in other draconian charges, which have never been there in the last 60 years. They were used in the colonial days. He went to the archives, resumed sleeping laws, and used them in a democratic society. You see, when you lead people, first you must agree that you are a servant of the people. That's why you always, from time to time, go back to seek a vote to renew your mandate. But when you start even cheating yourself to show popularity, you start first the dais yesterday where he was addressing the students, that dais which is normally found at Freedom Statue when there is a commemoration of African Freedom Day, was now for the first time put at the stairs of State House. So it can tell you this was a pre-arranged celebration of failure. Because Zambians are not celebrating me. I will make my own celebration with the suffering students. So you...
In fact, Honorable Brebna Changala, that matter has raised a lot of concerns. Students are known to fight for human rights. Students are known to fight for ordinary people. Students are known, to fight, for example, the crisis of the cost of living. That is a history of the University of Zambia. For the first time, we've seen the university get this record where they're being used as cadres for the UPND. Whether President Hakainde Hichilema is going to the University of Zambia to open or commissioning the hostels, or whether in this case the youths were marching after just an ordinary election at their university. the picture of university students has drastically changed to like children or tools for the ruling party. It is a matter of worry.
It is seriously worrisome, but again, it's a phase. Let's allow Mr. Aka in the Ichlema to please himself, because he likes such events where he's portrayed as a messiah. As you know, he likes saying whatever he does is always the first time. It's always for the first time. Forgetting he's the 7th president. You mean Kaunda didn't do free education? Why is it the first time? We had the best free education under UNIP. Then sometimes it's very difficult to understand what is going on. No wonder nearly every progressive thinker is in court today. Because there are many of us who can just sit while the doors of jail are wide open. We can just sit. We want Mr. Aka in the Ichiloma to spend more time on the state of economy. Spend more time on the youth unemployment. Spend more valuable time on the energy sector, which is in disarray. You can't run a country 21 hours, no power. You can't. And then you are throwing figures around that the economy is growing at 6.5%. Then you are throwing statements around that Lusaka Stock Exchange is the best performing in the world. Who are you cheating? Tell this country, if there is anything that is functioning and efficient, so, other than the police, tell this country, if there is anything that is functioning and it will give us hope for tomorrow, tell us. Because I am a citizen here. You are not going to cheat me that the economy is growing at 6.5% GDP. When all fundamentals of economic development have collapsed. I operate in Chinika. 80% of companies in Chinika are closed. So, where are you getting these figures? And in any case, when Mwanawasa's economy was growing at 6%, 6.2%, we used to feel it. He never used to tell us. We could feel it that this economy of Levi Patrick is functioning. When Rupia Banda was running Zambia, I'm a businessman. You could feel it that this economy is alive. The economy of Mr. Aka in the HLM, whether he puts in ECL and whether he puts in PF, is dead. If he's not dead, he's in comatose.
Wonderful, Honorable Brebna Changala. To our dear listeners, I would like to invite you now to make the phone. The phone line is, they are called the WhatsApp line. The phone lines are open. We are hosting Honorable Brebna Changala's very strong, prolific, and vociferous civil society leader. His voice remains strong, and he supported the UPND very, very strongly. But he raised, like he said, he was among the first one to even raise the first criticism when law enforcement agencies were grouped together to be supervised by State House under that statutory instrument 1173. This was a government early on, 2-3 weeks old, and Brebna was among those that immediately raised alarms.
This is a dream come true. Oh my God.
Shimombi, so this is the house that you won. It's now your house.
Yes.
Bashimumbi.
Yeah. Mumbi, why?
Nachubala mwala ingiro tunyelele.
No, Rose. Kawachileka na ingira munganda.
Munganda nshi?
Ngo ine nganda.
Bashimumbika mango ine nganda kwisa?
Kuturo.
Obe? Ya, icho notoko wama. Panda ini hapa nachilatilinga. Nimbono koko wale unishama yanda.
Hello. No mara mone ifsha kuino bwingi hapa. Imyotoka. Trolley dash. Hala
Mokwe.
Lesenta. Elo na mushiba. Patu lesa phela first kutulo. Elo mbanga wabuka ufire wakonka.
Ampera mchine?
Lesenta.
Nima kushitashani hapo.
Na bale mbapa, dial *384*1#. It's simple. Hello. Chawa hapa 10 kwacha.
Haukosi ni kwa 10 kwacha.
Twalabika muka 200.
Ngatwaingisha babiri dimbu madaba tutu awina wanu. Imwe na imwe ine.
Hello na ba mayo, twalaba posamu. Ali kwata sana shuko mayoli.
It's time to live your dream. Zambia, it's your time because no dream is too big for My Zambian Dream. Enter this draw so that you can stand a chance at winning shopping vouchers, cell phones, solar kits, cars, money, vacation trips, mini meal, trolley dashes, scholarships, and the grand prize of a 3-bedroomed house. That's right, a 3-bedroomed house. To enter the draw, all you have to do is dial *384*1#, and you will only be charged 10 kwacha to enter this amazing competition. What are you waiting for? It's time to live your dream. It's time to live your dream.
This is DJ Mutati exclusive.
Alright, that's all for you today, lovely viewers. If you did enjoy the video, please don't forget to leave a comment in the comment section below. Tell me what you think about the video you just watched in the comment section below. I'll be super glad to hear from you, lovely viewers. Once again, I go by the name of Mutati Mpundu. I love you, peace, I gotta go.